Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Today's explainer. I am so incredibly excited to guide you through this massive, multi-millennial history drawn straight from ancient texts. Today, we're exploring the lives of over 20 Islamic prophets. But we aren't just looking at their day-to-day lives. We're really zooming in on the deep mysteries surrounding their unique passing and the lasting legacies they left behind.
So let's kick things off with a pretty profound theological mystery that the sources present to us right from the start. What exactly happens to these noble messengers after they leave this physical world? Because, according to the text we're examining, their passing isn't described as a typical final end. It's actually much more complex and way more fascinating than that.
The sources introduce this amazing concept called barzakh. Basically, it's a special living state right there within the grave. This reality is beautifully illustrated by the account of the night journey, or miraj, where the final prophet actually witnessed Prophet Musa, or Moses, actively praying in his grave. I mean, it totally challenges our conventional, everyday understanding of life and death, doesn't it?
Section 1. The Barzakh Life of Prophets. Now, before they even enter this unique state of barzakh, these figures experience earthly deaths, and the events leading up to those final moments are absolutely incredible.
This brings us to a fascinating encounter involving our very first father, Adam. The texts describe a moment where Adam was shown the souls of all his future descendants. He was completely captivated by the beauty of one particular descendant, Prophet Dawood, or David. Upon learning Dawood was only destined to live for 40 years, Adam miraculously gifted exactly 60 years of his own lifespan to him. It's just a profound act of paternal love across generations.
But here is where the story takes a deeply relatable turn. When the angel of death finally showed up to take Adam's soul at his appointed time, Adam protested. He was like, "Wait, O angel of death, I still have 60 years left." He had completely forgotten his gift to Dawood. The sources brilliantly use this to show us that forgetfulness is a deeply human trait, one we literally inherited straight from our very first ancestor.
Section 2. Astonishing Encounters with Death. Adam's story perfectly sets the stage here, because the way these prophets interacted with the angel of death gives us some of the most astonishing encounters recorded in history.
After Adam passed away, we can trace how leadership and guidance safely transferred through a very noble lineage, from his son Seth to Anush and then sequentially down to Cainan. This structured lineage ensured that early humanity wasn't just left in the dark without guidance, it maintained a continuous, vital chain of knowledge.
And speaking of passing time, you've got to hear the incredible perspective these figures held about their time on Earth. Take Prophet Nuh, or Noah. The guy lived an exceptionally long life, over 950 years, guiding his people through epic floods and just unimaginable trials. Yet, when asked about the world at the end of his long life, he described it as a brief, fleeting house with two doors. You walk in one, and before you know it, you're walking right out the other.
That fleeting, unpredictable nature of life, it can catch literally anyone off guard, even the most powerful of prophets. The sources describe a super dramatic moment involving Prophet Musa. He was just in his home when a totally unrecognized stranger suddenly walked in, completely uninvited.
Not realizing this intruder was actually the angel of death, the strong, protective Musa physically struck him. After Allah clarified the whole situation and restored the angel, Musa was given a choice regarding his lifespan. Recognizing that departure is inevitable for us all, he chose to pass away peacefully, asking only to be brought close to the Holy Land. Section 3. Miraculous Deaths and Farewells. While some prophets, like Musa, faced death head-on in a very dramatic fashion, others experienced something entirely different. Take Prophet Yusuf, or Joseph. He was so incredibly revered in Egypt that upon his death, people actually argued over where he should be buried just to secure his blessings. The solution? He was temporarily laid to rest in a sealed marble coffin right there in the waters of the Nile River, so his blessings would literally flow throughout all of Egypt. Years later, Prophet Musa relocated his body to Palestine to rest with his ancestors.
But if you want astonishing, look at the story of Prophet Suleiman, or Solomon. He actually passed away while standing up, leaning on his wooden staff in a glass room. Because he was standing, his death went completely unnoticed by both the humans and the jinn who worked for him. It wasn't until a full year later, when a tiny woodworm ate through his staff and broke it, that his body fell, finally revealing his passing to the world. Absolutely wild.
And we definitely can't forget those who experienced miraculous elevations. Prophet Idris was raised all the way to the fourth heaven where the angel of death took his soul.
Prophet Harun passed away peacefully on a miraculously prepared heavenly bed on top of a mountain. And Prophet Isa, or Jesus, bypassed earthly death entirely and was raised alive directly to the heavens. Section 4. The Final Prophet's Farewell. Eventually, this long, majestic chain of prophethood brings us to the most emotional farewell of all. At 63 years old, Prophet Muhammad passed away. But what the sources emphasize here isn't some grand supernatural spectacle. It's the beautiful, humble humanity of his final moments. He passed away peacefully in his modest room, resting in the arms of his wife Aisha. In those last moments, she affectionately softened a mizwak, a wooden toothbrush for him to use, showing just a deeply touching level of care. His whispered final words, "O my Lord, forgive me, have mercy on me," serve as a powerful reminder of absolute submission. Despite his monumental, world-changing status, his very last breath was spent asking for forgiveness and mercy, perfectly capturing a complete and humble return to the Creator. Section 5. Holy Resting Places of Prophets. So, with their earthly missions complete, where were these noble figures actually laid to rest? The historical record shows they weren't just clustered in one single city. Allah dispersed his messengers strategically across major ancient regions. You have prophets shaping the deserts of Arabia, walking the ancient civilizations of Iraq, heavily concentrated in the holy lands of Sham and Palestine, and transforming Egypt. It's essentially a map of how the vital message of monotheism was systematically spread across the ancient world.
Section 6. Islamic Teachings Regarding Graves. Now, looking at all this history brings up a highly intriguing question.
Despite their immense status, there's a strict theological reason why the exact resting places of many prophets remain a total mystery today. Concealing these locations is highly intentional. It protects humanity from the ancient trap of idolatry. Over centuries, reverence can easily warp into worship. Keeping the graves hidden stops these sites from becoming festival grounds, making sure we focus on the message they brought, not just a physical site of dirt and stone. The final prophet explicitly warned his followers about this, commanding, "Do not make your houses like graves, and do not make my grave a place of festival." The whole point is to actively live out the faith in your own homes and communities, keeping the religion alive through your actions, rather than just historical veneration. And that brings us full circle right back to the wisdom of Prophet Noah. Since this worldly life is just a temporary house with two doors, and we're all simply walking from the entrance to the exit, how will you apply the profound legacy of these prophets to your own brief journey? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this sparked your curiosity to dive in and learn even more.
সম্মানিত ভিউয়ার্সরা, আপনাদের যদি এই ভিডিওগুলো ভালো লাগে তাহলে আপনারা লাইক, ফলো, শেয়ার দিয়ে আমাদের পেজের সাথে থাকুন। দেখা হচ্ছে নেক্সট ভিডিওতে।